So guys, in the last video, we talked about what ethics is. And as we discussed, like ethics is um, the determination of human affairs if something is right or wrong. And we saw that within our um, ethics activity as well. And so now we're going to be talking about why are ethics important and ethical decision making. And so I'll just give you kind of like a brief deal about ethical decision making. In the activity that you guys did, the ethical activity, you had to decide, you had to make a decision within yourself, like that you were okay with, like you made those decisions. And that's what we're going to talk about in ethical decision making. But first, we need to know why ethics is even important. And so to do that, I am going to share my screen again. So I'll do it right now. All right, so let's get this full screen. All right, guys. So why is ethics important? And as you can see, Hank Hill, I don't know if you guys know King of the Hill, but King of the Hill is hilarious, and I highly recommend that you guys watch it because it's so funny and just like satirical. So, in any case, Hank is like, dang it, Bobby, like because some of the things that he does don't necessarily make sense to him, and that's why ethics is important. Because ethics is important as we make our decisions that we feel right and wrong in our lives, right? So some people might make a decision to go to like going to Cal State, right, instead of going to like a UC or going to some other because it's closer to home, or because it's not as expensive, which actually a UC is way less expensive than Cal State. So, but we make those decisions because they feel right to us and they're important to us because like that's just the way that we do things, right? We go throughout life and we make ethical decisions as to do what is right and what is wrong and what we feel personally what is right, because at the end of the day, like your decisions are your own. Like now that you guys are in college, like no one's going to be making decisions for you, no one's going to turn in your homework for you. Like your mom and dad, they can't like call me and be like, hey, why did like Susie get a C on her speech? I, mean, like, I can't talk to you about that honestly. So like it goes down to like the brass tacks of it, right? So I'll give you an example, another example of ethics, and that would be a toxic relationship. So some of us have actually been in relationships, right? Some of us have been like with someone for years, or some of us have like just recently got out of a relationship that might be toxic, right? It is the ethical decision, or it is upon your own ethics to either stay or get out of that relationship. It is your decision. It's for you to make that feeling of right or wrong, or to make excuses for a toxic relationship, or whatever that might be. But it is like seeing a toxic relationship from the outside, people would be able to tell you like, oh yo, like you need to get out of that, man. Like they straight crazy, they physical or whatever. But ethics is super important for us because it allows us to feel holistically good within ourselves, and it also keeps us alive, right? And it keeps us alive by going into ethical decision making, and that's what we're going to go over next, right? I don't know why I picked this, but I just thought it was really funny. uh, Anyways, like I said, if you guys have an opportunity to watch this show, watch it. It's on Hulu. I don't know if everyone has Hulu, but it is on Hulu and it's hilarious. I recommend it. It's old, but still funny. All right, ethical decision making. As I said, ethical decision making is going to keep us alive, you know? And so it is defined in your book as uh, the sound ethical decisions involve weighing a potential course of action against a set of ethical standards or guidelines, right? And so in ethical decision making, we are presented with a situation, right? And I'm going to get into the example, and then the example is going to keep going back to like our activity, but I'm going to present you with another situation, right? So an ethical decision making is that we'll keep with the same toxic relationship, right? You're presented with like that scenario, that situation, like you are with this girl or with this guy, and you've been with them for like 6 months, right? And then all of a sudden, like not all of a sudden, but like you've progressively found some things that might like kind of feel weird, weird, but you're like, oh, maybe they're just upset, and then like they become physical with you, right? And physical in the bad way, where it's like they're slapping you, they're yelling in your face. Not all abuse is physical, but like, you know, they're calling you stupid, calling you fat, like just putting you down for no reason. And that's the situation you're in, right? So you're in this particular situation and you've been told like, yo, like if anything happens like that, or if you're not being treated correctly or right, get out of there. And you're being presented with a situation, but in your mind you're making a decision weighing that situation against your own standards, right? When in a relationship, and I don't know why this happens, but this always happens to new relationships, for some reason the ethical standards become much lower. And I don't know why that happens. And it's, I have a lot of girlfriends who have told me that, and guy friends that I've seen in like bad relationships, and they lower their standards for them, for the other person. And I just don't understand why that's a thing. And it just goes back to like us being human and us being flawed. But in decision making, we're taking that situation and we're either saying yes or no. We're saying it's right, it's wrong, but we're doing that based on the guidelines we have set in our own mind on that relationship. And so it could be that the relationship is toxic, even though there might have been no physical abuse. I don't know what happened, guys. I'm going to keep going on this because I was just about to wrap it up. But yeah, that was weird. So sorry about that. I'm gonna try to edit it out, but if I can't, then I had technical issues. My bad. Sorry. So I stopped right when the video shut off. So we didn't really go any further. Anyways, but in ethical decision making, it is a life or death thing because we can like know ethically that uh, drinking bleach is bad for us. Like ethically, it's bad. But I mean, some people do it because they wanna, you know, they want to drink bleach, and that's a thing. You know, it's like that show, like weird things people eat. Like it's fucking weird. But anyways, in any case, you guys should have already answered the questions that I posed in the video so far, and that's gonna be it. I'm not gonna put a discussion post because you guys just did one. I'll do one at the very last video, just to, you know, follow up with you guys and recap. But I'm gonna do some editing. I don't know why it shut off for me, but hopefully it's smooth and the transition is there. So in any case, yeah, this is going to be the end of ethical decision making and why ethics is important. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Alrighty.